Okay, Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited, partsbreakers.com, 303-666-9020. I'm listing a 1987 to 1995 Jeep Wrangler YJ 4-cylinder frame. Now, one thing to note on this frame is, and partly why we're listing this frame, although this one just came in, so it'd been listed anyway, but I'm out of my good 6-cylinder frames, and I have been for a while. Unfortunately, they're getting like CJ frames, and they're getting a little hard to get. So it's still being listed as a 4-cylinder frame because it is as is. That's what it would work on. But if you want to use this on a 6-cylinder, this would be a really good option and get a good quality A- frame. I'll show you the little things that it has on it here in a minute. But real quick, just to illustrate the differences, those two motor mounts right there get moved up. And it's better to use, you can use these, but it's actually better if you have a 6-cylinder frame already to use your 6-cylinder mounts. And if yours aren't in good shape and you are going to be doing this swap, I think I may have, yeah, I know I do, because I can do, I got a set of 6-cylinder mounts that we can do. A part of it is this package if somebody's doing that and wants, doesn't want to, if their motor mounts aren't in good shape. So first and foremost, again, I'm grading this as an A-, just mainly because at least 90%, maybe more, of the factory paint is still on. I usually wash these frames. To give you an idea, this one was never washed, which is pretty incredible. So it has a little bit of oxidized metal. There's no scaling on this one. I did scope this one, as I said I would. There's nothing on the inside. It's just like the outside. It's smooth as it should be. The couple areas that it has on it, and surprisingly, these front bolt holes are actually in good shape. A lot of times they hang heavy bumpers on them and those go bad. Even the holes for the supports, and those have bushings, but I popped a few of them just to see, and those are all clean, like super clean on all that stuff. So nothing like that. It's got this here and this here. Now, I got this as somebody was redoing a partial project on, and I don't know if they had some sort of bumper that had an indentation. They were trying to do I don't know, because it wasn't there when I got it, and I have no idea. There's really nothing in either one of those areas that somebody would have needed to do that. So the body, the radiator grill sits right there. So this is a little bit forward of that, and there's a cover and a sway bar. So maybe the sway bar, I guess it could be. I'm not entirely, no, the sway bar's on the bottom of these actually. The TJs sit on the top. So yeah, I'm not sure, but it's not a big deal. It's not affecting anything. It just, has an extra hole there on the top of it. And it goes underneath a cover, that Jeep cover that goes over the plastic one, hides those if that's a concern. So otherwise, that's about it. This area is usually, this is super common to see, and if you look at it, it's still smooth. This doesn't even have any scaling on it. It's just bare metal that oxidized up. The main thing, this sits in right around the engine compartment, and if people have any kind of leaks or are filling stuff up, tranny fluid, brake cleaner, anything like that, it just, they spill it, unfortunately, and it just wipes the paint right out on it. So pretty common to see, specifically on that side, to get that. So otherwise, going on to the back, the rear subframe's great. Even these shock towers, those are, especially from the ones I had yesterday, which were really low grade 6-cylinder frames. Both of these are in excellent shape. Really nothing in those whatsoever. The back subframe's in good shape. It had a big freaking bumper on the back, like a Haas, and that's one of the reasons I don't like hanging big bumpers on these, because they start wallowing out the holes back here. This cross section is replaceable, and you can get another one. I don't think I would on this one because it's not actually that bad. Especially now, if you're going to put the bumperettes back on it, which is what comes stock on these YJs, they're those rings, then you may want to do that, or at least reinforce those. But if you're going to be going to an aftermarket bumper, I wouldn't bother, because it will cover all that up anyway. So let me flip it over here, and I'll get some photos at the bottom as well, but I want to show you a couple things that are as important, I think, as far as putting one of these things back together. All right, wow, this thing had bees all over it. There. Luckily it's freezing out and there's no longer, but I found a few in the frame earlier too. So anyway, yeah, really clean frame. Seeing if I see anything on it that's, what's this guy? Looks like Jake, I'll have to pull that. Oh, that might have spun free in there. It feels like it did. So that welded nut, that's gonna have to be, usually when that happens, you put a nutsert in them. People cut into these frames and you can get in there and do that way. I wouldn't do it that way. They make nutserts for that reason. That's what I would use, but you know, whatever somebody wants to do. That's the only one. The rest of these, and you can see too, look again, this is another area this loves to have buildup on it, and both sides are real clean. It's always going to have a little bit of bare metal there. They'll brown up just because there's no buffer between that bottom skid, but clean threads, minus that guy. It had a drop bracket. That's what that goofy looking thing is. It had spacers on it because this Jeep was lifted, as a lot of them are, and whatnot. So, but back in this area, nice, clean, solid. This area loves, I mean, just that alone could almost be the indicator of a YJ frame, because these things go really quickly when you start getting salt and, you know, stuff on the road. So, and then that guy there, like I said, it's a little beat up in the back, but I wouldn't mess with that. I wouldn't replace it for that reason. It can easily be straightened out and it won't affect anything. And we'll discount it based on that stuff. So right now we're going to be pricing it, discounting a little bit here. Those weird holes up front, they'll be a little bit knocked off there. And then this will be just a low A grade frame. An A, to give you an idea on pricing, when you see this one listed, an A grade frame for us these day and age, because they're getting hard to get, $2,300, okay? $2,399 actually, so $2,400 plus shipping. So when you can save a little bit, it's always nice to, you know, be able to do it, but it's got to be worth it too, especially if you're doing a 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder swap, because obviously you're going to have a little bit of time in that. And there's a good picture of what you're exactly moving. So, and people do that all the time. Real quick on that note, if you've never done one of those, we've used to set these up all the time and do those. The easiest way to do it is to mount your 6-cylinder brackets to your motor, get your belly pan on it, set your whole drivetrain down in here, and literally these things will sit right where they need to. Anytime I've ever seen somebody get into measurements, and you can, if you're good with that stuff, then that's definitely the way to go. But honestly, even one of my guys who's finicky and OCD about everything like that, when he does these for us, he still does it the old school way, which is, and this is upside down, so it's kind of hard to visualize this, but let's flip this back over here. So hypothetically, if you had a cross member, skid plate, whatever you want to call it, mounted in it already, and these are off, these get bolted right up to the motor mounts on the brackets, and you just take your cherry picker and literally set it in. This hopefully is elevated. If you have a full garage, it makes it a little easier, but if you just have jack stands, which is how we started, then, you know, just set it down in place, square them up. Obviously they need to be squared up, and then you literally just get a line of sight down them. That fan is directly center here. It is really that easy. There's not much. The margin of error is pretty big on these, fortunately. So fortunately, not unfortunately. So anyway, I blabbed enough. Now I'm normally not out here filming, and I'm gonna flip this over to get some more photos of it. But this is our yard. We got 7 acres. We have an upper and a lower. We actually live on the property. So if you need any other Jeep parts, please give us a call, 303-666-9020. You can see our frames over there. And then we have our non-Jeeps in the back. And we just keep building and building and building. We've been doing this, I've been doing it for 18 years. The company has been around since '84. I'm leaving, one last thing, for anybody else that's looking at this video, I am leaving. I was hoping to leave Friday, but it's gonna be Monday, the 12th of December, and I'm heading to the East Coast. I'm going all the way to Maine. I do $500 flat rate on delivery. That means if you get a tub, a frame, axles, anything is $500. There's no additional charges on that. It's a good opportunity. Just a frame alone to ship it to the East Coast is usually $800-900 plus the pallet fee. so you're easily $1,000. So it saves you just on the frames. Tubs are really expensive to ship, so definitely consider that. And I don't usually bring out small parts, although on this trip I have a couple tailgates, stuff like that. And I don't on an order like this one, for example, we would, whatever you want, it's no problem. But what I meant by that is I don't usually just bring, a headlight or something out on that. I'll just ship that to you. It's way easier than trying to put just one little part like that on the truck. But definitely, if you got bulk items, big items, hoods, fenders, grills, windshield frames, tailgates, tubs, frames, axles, engines, transmission, transfer cases, all that stuff is really good to get on this. I just got a really nice gooseneck yesterday. I had a 40-foot I was going to bring. It's a little hard to maneuver on the East Coast, so I was able to get a roughly 38-foot, which is like a deck over. It's a little slightly different design out, a little easier to tow for us. So anyway, super excited to meet everybody. Looking forward to it. Again, thanks for another 11 minutes of your life, and have a good rest of your day.